Okay, we've been letting this scale soak in the 30% vinegar bath for 24 hours. So we'll take that and set that aside. Alright, so we got our scale fresh out of the vinegar bath. We're going to submerge that in some water, a bit of warm water. And we're going to add a little bit of window cleaner. Pleasantly surprised at the condition of this. I guess it's brass, but honestly it looks like copper at this point, the color. Maybe once we polish it out, it'll turn more yellowish, like a brass color. The pins or the retainers here on the bottom and on the brass plate are brass or copper, whereas the ones on the top, the pin on the top is just some type of iron or tin. Interesting. As far as we can, it's really looking good. As far as we can with the wire brush. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this over to the brass wire brush that we have on our wheel. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. I just came back from the wire wheel, spent about 10 minutes on there, just cleaned it up a little bit more. Didn't do it on the brass, didn't want to damage that, or copper, whatever that is. But definitely got a decent amount of difference on there. So what we're going to do now at this point is we're going to actually disassemble this unit, and we want to make sure the spring inside is clean, rust free, things of that nature. Now what we need to do to get this disassembled is we need to first remove the hooks. Okay. After we remove the hook and the ring, we need to remove this pin from the top. Okay. You can see that this is tapped over this pin, so we'll have to use this diamond file to file that down, remove that pin. Okay. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use a couple Vise grips. Pittsburg brand. Okay, so now we've got the hook and the ring off. We're going to file down the end of that pin so we can remove it. See now that we've got that filed down nice and flush, that pin should pop right out. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a small steel punch with a pointed tip and a jeweler's hammer to tap that pin out, or at least get it started. See that pin started to move. side. What we're going to do is we're going to pull it out with a pair of dikes. There you go. Look at this. Glad we removed that pin. It's not only is it bent, but it's also quite rusty. Alright, now that we got the pin out, we can remove the cap. It seems to be stuck though, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of liquid wrench, super lubricant, okay? Spray that on there. Let that sit for a minute. Alright, so that was even though we soaked it in liquid wrench, tried to remove it after like 10 minutes, it still wouldn't come off. I don't want to damage this very delicate part. So what we did was we're letting it soak in the liquid wrench. Okay, so it's submerged in liquid wrench. We're going to let that sit there for about 10 minutes or so, and guaranteed that's going to pop off. Okay, that's been sitting in the liquid wrench soaking for about 15 minutes now. We're going to take that out. We can see the rust that's in there, so you can see it's definitely penetrating the rust. This should pop right off. Yep. Look at that. You need to disconnect the top, so it's connected to a spring in here. You can see it. Alright, so the way we do that is we get a screwdriver, grab the spring, and then we use the screwdriver. You gotta get it on the right side. Use the screwdriver like a bridge, like this, and then you can remove the part for the top. Okay, so at this point I got the cap off. Quite a bit of rust in there, so we're going to actually let that sit in some vinegar for a good couple hours. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the spring. So we're going to do that by taking a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. There's a seam right here in the tin. Okay, so how we're going to remove this is we need for the pointer, for the weight pointer to slide out through there. Okay, so we're going to take the flathead screwdriver, we're going to go ahead and spread that. That'll give us a gap in the tin, and then we're just going to put a little pressure on the pointer arrow, and boom, pop right out. Again, this is 30% vinegar. We'll let those components sit. Okay, a couple hours later, we're back. Let the parts soak a little more in vinegar, and we're going to take them out, clean them up. Alright, we just got a little bit of H2O with some soap, some detergent, liquid detergent. Inside of the tube, a lot cleaner than it was, but we're going to go ahead and clean out the insides real well with some brass wool. I should say. Pretty clean on the outside, but the inside is much cleaner, but it still has some residue, some light rust. Okay, so we got to get that out of there. We got a nice selection of brass mini brushes. I think we will use this one here. This should work out just perfectly. Set it aside. Okay, the hook for the hanger came out real clean as well. It's in good shape. The only thing is it's a little out of shape. The curve on the bottom, I think, should be a little bit more round. Okay, and the hook end should be facing up more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I put a socket, an whole socket in the. I think that looks real good. Okay, make it for a much securer hook. Okay, it's facing up now like a J. It's like a J hook, which is really where it should be. All right. Okay, the pin held the top on. Took it out. It was bent. So we cleaned that up. That cleaned up nicely with the vinegar, a combination of vinegar, and then we used a wire brush on that. So that cleaned up real well. So we're just going to straighten that out. Tighten that up a little bit. And we're just going to use our vise, the flat area, to straighten that out. Okay, so we got the tube here. You can see the bottom, or the bottom cap, is dented in. Okay, so we want to bring that out. Cleaning up the number plate is we're going to mask that off, protect it. All right, what we decided to do is to use some super blue. Okay, this is Birchwood Casey super blue, liquid gun blue. Okay, so we can seal the inside parts of the, or corrosion protect the inside parts of this scale. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put some on a swab. Now we're going to glue these parts. swab that on. Nice even strokes. And we'll use some on the end cap as well. Alright, go ahead and rinse that off as well. Saturate these well in 3-in-1 oil after the bluing has dried. You could actually use motor oil, pretty much any type of, I would say, oil. I would tend to use a mineral-based oil. 3-in-1 oil after the bluing really gives it a nice deep finish. As you can see, really gorgeous. You can just let those parts sit there. Make sure it soaks in real well. Really nice deep finish. Once we wipe that off, it'll be completely protected. You won't have to worry about this scale rusting out in any way. I'm going to take a cotton swab, make sure that oil is all the way down in there. Not going to have any issues with corrosion with this unit. I'll put a little bit more down in there. 3-in-1 oil, stuffs the bomb, really coats and protects. You won't have any issues whatsoever. Alright. Beautiful finish, is something different. Bluing that, I said, let me blue it. I've seen a bunch of people doing like a polished finish. Let me blue it. That looks. I think the needle that it's blue or black. I mean, it's technically, well, it's called bluing, but it really is black. It should show up nicely against the brass, or the brass or copper plating. We're just really pretty much just removing the excess oil. Alright, we're going to set those components aside, the ones that we blued. You may have noticed that we did not blue the ring, or the hook, or the pin for the upper cap. These we're going to coat with a nickel. Okay, so we're going to do nickel plating on these. Okay, make them pop and also give them corrosion protection. acetate. This is a homemade brew. Okay, very easy to make. I learned how to make it by looking on YouTube at a video. Okay, and because I was interested in doing my own nickel plating. All right, I used an old phone charger, 2 amp or 3 amp phone charger. Okay, and made my own. Okay, take our negative side, negative terminal. Got an alligator clip on there. We'll clip the first component on there, which is the upper ring. I'll just drop that down in the solution. Take effect for a minute or so. I'm going to move it around a little bit to kind of shake the bubbles off of it. I don't know if you can see the bubbles or not. I think you probably can. I want to kind of shake those off because that'll help give an even coat. So because if you get a bubble there on the surface, the nickel will not be attracted to that part of the surface. Alright, we just get that one last little shake. And yeah, we got a nice finish on that. Nice nickel plating on that. Alright, I've got the 3 nickel plated components. I'm going to take them over to the buffing wheel. I'll be back in 5 minutes. That's 4. There's 5. Alright, I came back from the buffing wheel. Pretty shiny. Can't get to the inside so good. So I'm going to just use our little mini buffing wheel here. See if we can't get to the inside a little bit. Set those parts aside. Bring back the tube, the scale. Okay. Take a little bit of the bluing got on there. That's okay. I'm going to polish this off. All right. Let's get a little polish on that wheel. Alright, let's just hit the blue parts with a little brass wool. Nice finish. Like the way that looks in black. Okay, time for reassembly. Yeah, I really like the way that needle shows up on the scale. Really, really nice. Really nice. Looks good. So what we're going to do from here is we're just going to tap that over. Not a lot of material there. Would have thought there would have been more once we straightened it out, to be honest with you, but there isn't. So hopefully there's enough there. Okay, we're back. Well, we made a valiant attempt to use the original, I'm not sure if it's original screw or not, because this looks more like a nail or, I don't know, some type of thread. It may have been original, I'm not sure, but as you can see, we tried to put it back and it did bend. So I can't get it to, I can't burr the end over without bending it. So what we're going to decide to do is go a little outside the box. We found a nice brass screw with a flathead or a slot, which would have been okay for that period. It does match the bottom fasteners actually better than this did, because this was nickel coated, so it didn't actually match. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so we're going to clean that up on the, that's just going to make the head a lot smaller on that. Okay, so it looks much better. Okay, so we just found out when we took down that head of that screw, it turned out that it was only brass coating. Okay, so what we did was after we took it down, we blued the area that was bare metal. Okay, and you can see the slot is still coated. Alright, we'll take that screw. Like I said, we made the screw head as discreet as possible, not to take away from the part itself. And it definitely accomplished that. Okay. Okay, so now we got the screw coming out the other side. We'll need to shave that off. Okay, just returned from the belt sander. I had applied some masking tape on there to protect the material. Okay, so we took that down quite a bit. It looks really good. We're just going to clean that up with a diamond file. Great product. I said it before, it's nice because you can file in both directions. Okay, so there's no wasted energy. The basic file set 150 grit. Purchased these from Harbor Freight Tools. Just a great value. Okay, so had these for, I don't know, about a year or so, and they still function perfectly. I haven't even lost any of the grit on there as far as I can tell. Good to do your fingernails as well. All right, we're gonna clean this up. Yeah, this looks really good. Yeah, looks like we hit the bluing a little bit on the cap, but like I said before, that's fine. We'll get a little alcohol, clean that off of there. There we go. Problem solved. Problem solved. Level 3-in-1 oil on there. Rub that in. Perfect. Alright, let's remove this tape. right, we've got the top screw in. Got it re-blued, cleaned it up, beautiful. Okay, this looks, for me it looks like it would have came out of the factory like that. Okay. All right, now we're going to put the top ring on, which has been nickel plated. Like that in. Put that aside. Nice and smooth. Gonna give this a test out tomorrow. We're gonna put some, hang some meat on this and see how accurate it is.